Hi Portal, it's Joe Justice. I just used version of the app 0.0.8 and I gotta say I really like it so far. Right now the to-do, doing, and done columns jump around, and when I drag sticky notes, sometimes the number on the sticky note changes as it changes columns. So like I'll drag sticky note 54 and it becomes 32, but it's becoming more and more stable. I'd like to show you some sketches I made before I saw 0.0.8, giving you an idea of what I was thinking. So in this mock-up, here's an iPhone 6 screen, 6 Plus, which is my size. This is the actual size. In this case, the app starts up clean and there's no UI, and we tap it. And tapping the app, once we've opened it, it's one big sticky note, basically. It's a board, an empty Scrum board, which is the same as a sticky note in my mind. When we tap it, it's similar to the edit interface for Notes, the Notes app on an iPhone. A cursor appears, and then we have a square plus icon, meaning add a sticky note, and a square up arrow icon, meaning share, just like the Notes app on the iPhone, and done. We also have a trash can, which on the parent board would mean delete all children and bring us back to the original state. So we've tapped it here. So I wrote that Joe tapped, and we get this screen. Then I choose to type a name for our parent sticky or our Scrum board, same thing, Project A. And then I click the plus button and we get a blank sticky. Then to do, doing, and done appear. Also a Facebook icon, or in this case Google ID icon appears, my avatar, showing that I was the last one to change this sticky, and also one appears here. I was the one to create this sticky note, which is also able to be a Scrum board. Then if I tap this, we get the edit interface just like before, and it zooms in, but we have a 1 pixel border on the left and top of the previous sticky note. So if they happen to be a different color, it should be easy to see. Also, there's a square here with a 1 in it, showing that our depth is 1. We're 1 sticky note down. But the interface is the same. So we have a cursor to add a title if we want to, or add sticky note text, our plus icon, our share icon, our done icon, and the trash can if we want to delete from this level below, and it's sticky note. In this case, we name the project Project B. So Joe, then I'll tap share on this sticky note. So here I shared, and I type Rosemary's Google ID, and I share with Rosemary. And then Rosemary has logged in separately, and she sees the invite, chooses to accept it, and she'll have a Project B sticky note appear on her parent sticky note board, this screen. And Rosemary, she names it Project B, and so I'll see that here. And then Rosemary has a Project B, and every note that might be under Project B, right now it's blank, if she accepts the board. So in this example, we'll assume she accepts the board. And so a second Google avatar icon appears to the left, because she was the last one to edit it, and it's Rosemary's. So I'm on the right now, and I've faded a little bit to gray, my avatar, and Rosemary's is the brightest full color, and it's furthest left. Now, Rosemary taps the plus icon twice, and it adds 2 blank sticky notes on Project 8, which is a Scrum board or a sticky note. They're the same in my mind, and they each have a teeny little avatar of Rosemary's Google ID. And if I tapped, they would full screen and I could see her avatar. Well, actually, first I'd have to open Project B, and then I could open each of those sticky notes. Then Rosemary types the plus button 4 more times. Note that the notes automatically shrink. So here on my screen, I see more notes appear, and I see the notes dynamically shrink. And I always see all 3 columns at once. Now, at this point in the UI, I realized to do, doing, and done took up a lot more space than I wanted, and I made a 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot iconography, and actually like this better. So Portal, I'd encourage you to do something like this. But notice that the 3 columns are always visible. There's no side swiping. I think that's better. It's all up, visible all the time. And there's tiny little avatar icons for each of the stickies Rosemary created. Then Joe taps Project B. Joe drags a note to doing. So it would have full screened, and I could drag a note to the doing column, or the second column, the 2 dots. And then Project B automatically moves to doing. So this whole sticky note automatically moves to doing because one of its notes is now in doing. So on the Project A note, notice Project B moved to doing when I moved one of Project B's children over into doing. Then Joe drags all notes on project B to done. Project B note automatically moves to done on project A because everything's in done. Yeah. Then Joe taps the plus icon on project A 26 times. And then I tap each one and I name them. And then I tap project C and I add notes to it. So here's project C and I add notes to it. And then I add notes to those notes. So these tiny little black notes are more sticky notes on this yellow note. And then I've added a lot of yellow notes here, and the rest I haven't added any notes. But notice when there's 26, they just shrink and they stay in their column. Then, burn down timer. This is an advanced feature. I wrote an earlier story saying in the future there will be easy analytics. This is what I'm talking about. So we haven't spoken about this until now, but I'd like to show you what I'm thinking so far. So if we click Project C, which has notes with notes on them, because any note is also a Scrumboard if we add notes to it. So Project C becomes full screen, and there'd be a 1 pixel border, and it'd say we're 2 projects deep now. 1 project deep, because Project A is the only one above this. And we have Project Awesome, Project B-Some, Project C-Some. And I've moved one of these to done. Well, one of these moved to doing. We opened Project Awesome, moved one to doing, and then this whole sticky note, Project Awesome, moved into the doing column. And then I dragged one to done. Well, a timer inside the app started from the moment something was moved to doing. And in this case, it says it took you 2 days to move one from done, from the time you first moved a sticky note to doing on this board. It then maps a burn down. It dynamically says, well, here's the date and time in case it only took a few minutes or a few hours, but in this case it took 2 days, so it's going to show me dates. Here's the date of when you first moved the sticky note, and it's really tiny to see, but it says, I think, May 26th. And there were 4 sticky notes on the board at the time, so it's going to dynamically populate the x-axis with number of sticky notes, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And on May, I think that's 29? Yeah, May 29, sticky note 1 moved to done. So it burns down 1 sticky note on 2 days. There are 3 sticky notes remaining as of May 29th. And the first sticky note was moved to doing on May 26th. And it says 3 left on May 28th. Also, ideally on the line, it would say Joe, because it knows who I am, or it showed my avatar. It's probably even better. This avatar moves sticky note 1 to done on May 28th. It would show it. Then here, we've moved a second sticky note to done, but we've also added 2. So the x-axis is going to dynamically populate to show at this current burn rate, when is it going to be done? And I can always look at this date and say, statistically, that's the date we're going to be done. And if we're moving sticky notes over a few times a minute, the scale would be in minutes. Or a few times an hour, it would notice that, and the scale would be in hours. But it's noticing I'm moving a sticky note about every 2 days, so it's projecting it in days. We've also added 2. So the y-axis dynamically changed to 2 more. So the first dot that said 3 left on May 29th, it's now moved up, and it said there were 3 left on May 29th. Now there's 4 left on May 30th because we added 2 sticky notes. And it updates our trend line, and it shows we're trending to ship on, I think that says July 4th. Now this one was July 4th. It looks like this one's July 6th. That way, for any